Nice sunny day in Amarillo, Texas. How you doing? Ben Phrases. It's just real nice out, so I just wanted to come out. But I'm not gonna hold you up too long. I'm not gonna prolong you guys or anything like that. But I wanted to say that at any time that you decide to get in somebody's way of doing anything other than standing still, if they're doing something and you decide to, well, if you're in the way and you decide to move out of the way, once you move out of the way, one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to do really good for themselves, or they're either going to mess up really bad. Now, if you choose to get out of the way, which personally I think that you should, but if you choose to get out of the way and they do good for themselves, kudos to them. You should be happy for them. You shouldn't hate on them. You shouldn't have any animosity for doing good for themselves. Like, you should be a naturally good-hearted person that individual is doing good for themselves. Just anybody, any good-spirited individual should have that line of reasoning for their fellow human beings. Now, if you're an individual that decides to move out of the way, and once you move out of the way, that individual does bad for themselves, regardless of whatever it may be, they can't just seem to help themselves out. It's almost as if they can't function or do any good for themselves without the assistance or the facilitation of others. That's bad. But in the event that happens, you have to allow them and continue to let them make those mistakes, because ultimately standing in the way of them making the mistakes, they're not learning. They're just going to keep continuing the bad behaviors that got them into that predicament in the first place. Now, some of you might say, well, they just might not be able to any point to get themselves up on their feet and just do good for themselves. And if that is the case, so be it. Because what it's going to do is, if you continue to associate with that individual, it's going to bring you down. It's going to bring your stock down, your value down, your ability to be productive. And you won't want that. At the end of the day, it is all about self-preservation. I don't care what anybody says. You have to preserve oneself in order to have any type of chance of helping others. So, when that person, also, I wanted to say, when you get out of the way and that person does bad for themselves, don't make light out of the situation. Don't make fun of them at their expense. I'm being serious about this, because the first thing that you should do, I'm not saying don't ever do it, but because some people deserve to get made fun of. But in reality, the first thing that you should do is take notes, observe, look, say to yourself, that is not a predicament that I want to be in, ever, in any situation. Take notes, because if you don't take any notes, if you don't observe, if you're not analytical about the mistakes that others are doing, especially around you, within your circle, or within close proximity of you, whether it be your coworkers, your family, your friends, then chances are you're going to be inclined to make those same type of mistakes without any type of plan or preparations to avoid them or to get yourself out of that situation. So that's all I wanted to say. Moral of the story is, just get out of the way. If you get out of the way and people do good for themselves, kudos to them. They do bad for themselves, allow them to be. They have to figure it out themselves. You can give advice, but that only works so much. Just get out of the way. Take notes. Notice what they're doing wrong. Say to yourself, I don't want to be in that predicament. I don't want to be in that situation. And do everything that you possibly can within your power to not make those same mistakes. This has been Phrases, and I'm in sunny Texas. So as always, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Take care.